the horse, a creature of unparalleled beauty, power, and mystique. Their personalities are as diverse as their coats, each one a unique blend of spirit and grace. For some, the horse is a source of awe and inspiration. For others, they evoke a primal fear. But for those who have dedicated their lives to these magnificent animals, the horse is more than just a creature. They are a partner, a confidant, and a source of unwavering joy. We've all heard the names: Secretariat, Citation, American Pharaoh. These legendary thoroughbreds carried to glory by some gifted and strong athletes, the likes of Ron Turcotte, Eddie Arcaro, Jerry Bailey, Gary Stevens, and Pat Day. But behind every champion horse is a dedicated trainer, a mastermind who shapes their potential and guides them to victory. While the names of D. Wayne Lucas, Bob Baffert, and Todd Pletcher may be household names, there are countless other trainers working tirelessly behind the scenes. They manage stables of varying sizes, nurturing their horses with passion and dedication. So the next time you visit a racetrack, take a moment to appreciate the countless hours of training, care, and unwavering commitment that goes into preparing a horse for a race. Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the lives of a few of these unsung heroes, the trainers, who keep the heart of horse racing beating strong.
Elena, Curlin's wisdom is next.
There you go. He loves it.
You don't even care. You can just leave him alone so he doesn't care.
Come on, get your butt right up in here. Come on.
I love him. He just makes my day. Honey, oh, I know. He's so sweet. But he's just like a big dog.
So we're out here now, and it's approximately 5:30 in the morning, and the horses are getting ready to go out, do their works on the track, jog, exercise. This is the typical scenario for a stable, a trainer, every day. So Orlando, you get here at 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning, it all starts,
And
grooms get here.
so your first thing would be,
So the first thing is check the feed tubs, see how they ate up everything, left a little bit, left a lot. And then the grooms put the halters on, check the temperatures, make sure temperatures are good. And they start doing the stalls, and when they taking off bandages, I give them their supplements early in the morning in their mouth, the liquid supplement, and start checking their legs, any type of heat, any type of swelling, any type of soreness, something obvious or not. I think it's just a daily routine of if there's any changes. With a little bit warm, it was cold. Overall, then after we go through the line checking the horses, it's make a set list, reference to what the horses are going to do, how they're going to train, jog, gallop, breeze, contact the vet if we need any type of Lasix for the works and any type of medicines. But overall, I think it's just a daily routine of staying on top of the little details is what makes the difference.
so when you put the list together, do you have a list that you post so that your workers understand what they're to do for the day?
Yeah. I make a list on my whiteboard, and some riders get along better with other horses. So no rider nor groom has a preference. No one picks and chooses their horses here at my barn, but overall, I try to accommodate what rider suits what horse best in reference to their attitude and how well they train or how aggressive they can be. And luckily I've had good success with the team that I've had. Most of my employees have been with me over 3 years, so I think that's a plus. It's not a really high turnover rate of employees, which is...
Yeah, in this business, I would guess it would be higher.
Oh, it is, but luckily we've done a visa program, and I've contracted people from out of the States, because at the end of the day, that's, to me, has worked out best, and this is my 3rd year doing it. But overall, I think the team that I have built over time has I'm able to sleep calm at night knowing that the job is done correctly, even though we have to supervise to say and check over what's being done and what's not being done. But overall, I think it's building a team to make the dream work together. It's not just me, it's not just the rider, not just the hot walker or the groom. Every little bit, be it the farrier, the vet, to team effort to be successful and get a win and be competitive in this industry.
So you arrive here at the track in the morning, what time?
Well, it differs for me because I have a son who started 1st grade this year. So my husband works for me. He's my assistant trainer. Basically, we both get up at 4:30 in the morning. He gets to the track right away, meets the help here, starts, taking off bandages, getting their legs clean and whatnot, while I stay home with our son. I go on the computer, look for races, get a little book work done. And then the babysitter comes and I can come here and go through, check legs, start training. We usually are here until about noon on a dark day, and then we go home, do some things, come back to feed at night. Days where there's races, we're here from sunup till sundown, literally. Well, before sunup right now. You just do everything. Everything needs to be done, and I always say it's a lifestyle, and this is kind of what we chose to do, so this is what we do.
And the vacations are incredible, right?
Yeah. We come all the time. Yeah, my husband and I, we got married in 2017 and still waiting to go on our honeymoon. So there are no vacations, you can make time, but honestly, you get away from it and you just wonder, are they eating okay? Are their legs okay? Are they training okay? There's just so much that your brain doesn't shut off even if you do go on vacation with the horses. So
yeah, I feel a lot of people that go to the races and bet and whatnot, they read the form, but one of the things that I want to do with this is to let people know what a time commitment.
It's very time consuming, this is what we do.
And how many people are also involved in making this all happen,
from hot walker to, exercise rider to jockey to trainer, there's a ton of behind the scenes things that you don't even see.
And are you the one who always decides what race you're going to run the horse in?
I talk with the owners about it, we collaborate together and figure out a plan for the horse.
And give me an idea of how frustrating condition books can be.
It depends. I mean, condition books, they're not that frustrating, but if your race doesn't go, then it can get a little frustrating for you, or if you have a couple horses in the same condition, then you might have to start looking elsewhere to run one, because you can't have more than 2 horses in a race. So,
and for people who may not know what a condition book is, you would say that has to do with the level of the race to some degree.
Right. Yeah.
And fill in the blanks for the rest.
Yeah. You've got your allowance races, you've got your $11,000 race and your $5,000 race. So, if you have a horse that needs to run for $25,000, you're going to have to ship out of town somewhere. So, Yep.
I get here at 4.
4 in the morning. Yep.
I try to get here at 4.
And what are some of the things that you do when you first get here?
Well, first of all, I feed,
I start doing the water buckets and feed tubs after that. Make sure they're and fill all the horses' legs. And right now I don't have a stall cleaner. My stall cleaner got hurt, so I've got to do stalls temporarily till he comes back.
What inspired you to pursue a career in training?
The inspiration, I think it stemmed from my dad being a trainer off and on with his own horses, and then we ended up jumping into the game back in 2012 under his name. We bought a couple of cheap horses, started out in New Jersey, and further down the line, a couple of years later, I bred one of them that we had started off with, and when that one, it was time to go to the track. 2 years prior, we ended up going to Ocala. I wanted to learn how to train, to say, from the big outfits. I worked for Groupies, Harley and Dorenzo, and then with Mark Cassie. So I think I just wanted to pick and choose from different training methods, different feed programs, and base it off of that, and then test out the waters against the best in New York, because everyone said, oh no, just go to another track. I said, I'd rather test out against the best, and luckily our first year in Saratoga we had 3 winners, and overall the inspiration came with the time, and the place where we're at is trying to be one of the top trainers here on the New York circuit.
Well, who would you say that your dad is your mentor?
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, my dad has helped me out with a lot of issues but I would say a mentor of mine that even to this day it has to be Safi Joseph, that he grew just the same way. He started out with a little bit of horses, and little by little, once he had his system set into place, he's grown to where he's at today. And that's how I see it, where you have to start out small, but once you have the results, the people see it, and then they'll start sending you more horses. But overall, super good guy to bounce ideas off of. And at the end of the day, he's encountered many issues that I will encounter over time. And he's been a very, very good friend of ours from Miami. And he just says, just keep at it and put your head low and just win races. That's where you're going to get the clients.
Is there any one piece of advice either your dad or Safi Joseph gave you that has stuck with you?
Just keep at it. I think you can't give in. You can't expect every horse to be your stake horse, but overall, I think it's try the best with what you have, work with what you have, and in due time, you will have those $100,000 purchase yearlings, 2-year-olds that do come into your barn in time.
So John, who are some of the people that you looked up to, who were mentors to you when you first started training, and who have been an inspiration to you in this business?
The number one would be probably my uncle, Bill Strain. He was leading trainer here for many, many years, and he's also he's also in the local Hall of Fame here. He taught me a lot about training, and I kind of followed a lot of the stuff he did. The other person that I look up to and I really, really respect is Linda Rice. I've gotten a lot of horses from Linda here over the years, and I've picked her brain a lot. she's taught me a lot about how to operate a stable also. So I was very happy with what I've learned from her, and it's really helped me out a lot.
And what kind of things have you learned from your uncle and Linda Rice about training, like specific things that you do in the morning?
It's really hard to just pinpoint a single thing.
How did you gradually get in? Who are some of your mentors and people that you look up to?
Well, I started with a guy named Jimmy Cattell back here. Worked for him for a year, and then I went to Belmont for the winter. Got hooked up with Carl Grushmark, started as a hot walker with him. He really took me under his wing. He would be my mentor, you know. Went from being a hot walker to an assistant trainer with him. He was really good at teaching me the old school horsemanship with the horses, you know, letting me be one-on-one. Would let me try to figure things out on my own, and then he would step in and, you know, show me a couple things that he knew to help educate me and move me along. So he was my mentor. He's probably the biggest contribute to, you know, getting me from a hot walker to a trainer, and he put a lot of time into me. He was great to work for. Definitely would say he's, you know, the guy that helped me the most in this. So
do you say to yourself when you're a hot walker, well, if I can stay with this for like 6 months, I can stay in this game for good?
Kind of depends, you know. I mean, starting as a hot walker, it was you know, I was doing the horse show stuff. I was a professional in the hunter and jumper world. So it's just a little different pace of business, you know, moving into the racehorses. And it was just the education that came along with it and the horsemanship, you know, it was nice to learn and just keep going and moving forward. So always looking to, you know, continue the education part of it. So.
I think HISA is a good thing. I think the uniform medication, be it here, Florida, Kentucky, anywhere, I think that's the right move. I think the database is a good thing to see if what has been done to the horse, what can be done. I think the database is going to grow, and I think there is some adjustments that needs to be attended to, but overall I think it is a good thing for this business. So I am for HISA and the welfare of the horses at the end of the day. When the horses are vet listed or have the issues, that you can look back on the portal and see what type of information that is available. So I think that is a good thing that's happening to the business. A lot of people are against it, but I think it's a positive thing, be it that the uniformity of the business in general.
Do you think that the enactment of HISA is impacted with doping at all?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think maybe some of the trainers that were trying to get a little edge prior to HISA are a little more conservative.
Do you think has been a good thing, or are there problems that have impacted you?
No problems that have impacted me. I mean, it's we've run our barn the same way since day one, so nothing's kind of impacted our barn, or I haven't had to change things around to, you know, fall into their rules. I feel bad for the owners in a way that, you know, it's just one more cost incurred to them at the end of the day. You know, because every start that you make, you have to pay to start in the race. So that's, you know, probably the most frustrating thing about it for me is just an owner having another bill to pay on top of everything else.
I like most parts of it. There's a lot of stuff I dislike about it. But one of the things I like about it is the claiming rule, where if you claim a horse and the horse doesn't come back very well, it goes back to the original owner. What happens there is if protects the animal, protects the riders, and it prevents people from just throwing a horse in there just to try to get it claimed and move it on. It protects the game overall.
Yeah. Obviously, they're sort of feeling their way through.
Yeah.
There's so many variables in this game.
Yes.
So, what's one thing that you have objectives to?
Well, I tell you what. Anytime you get the government involved in things, it doesn't run very smoothly. But I think in time it will. It's just trial and error, I guess. But I think overall, it's improving the game. They also have to, in my opinion, they got to improve the breed of the animal, in my opinion. And that's another story. So.
Yeah. So how do you get your name in front of syndicates and partnerships? How do you get to attract them to your operation?
The best publicity is a win. At the end of the day, you can post on social media, but the best publicity is when you win. That's what attracts owners, and that's how we got a name for ourselves. With my brother starting me off in the claiming game, and then little by little, Drawing Away, Zilla, Final Turn. That's who pretty much started me off, and luckily they're still with us, and we're doing good for the syndicates that we do have. But yeah, the best publicity is winning races.
Well, it's also harder when you don't have the number of horses, or when you're not getting the quality of horses.
Correct. The quality of horses is the aspect when the big trainers, that's what they have. It's a numbers game when they can pick and choose, and then you get a second, third tier in comparison to those horses. But overall, you have to work with what you have and spot them in the right spots to be aggressive, to be competitive and win races. It's not just because every horse can win. It's just where you place them, what distance, what surface, and with what equipment to say. But overall, it's the learning curve where we're able to have the results.
It's a bit of an uphill climb, I would think, because a lot of the partnerships, they want their horse trained by a top trainer, because the people who are thinking of getting into the partnership, they want to hear a big name in order to lure them in to invest in the horse. That's often the case. But in reading all the trades and the editorials, many people are saying they can't make money, they can't exist, and the mega trainer aspect is killing the little trainer.
Overall, I think it's just trying to work with what you have, in reference to, even though you don't have the numbers as the big guys do, but it's how can I explain? It's trying to pick and choose, be it the next 2-year-old or a claiming horse. It's just trying to work with what you have. There's a lot of these big trainers that a lot of horses get passed through the cracks, in reference to it wasn't up to their standards under their training, but maybe it switches to a more detail-oriented littler barn, which the horse can blossom and become a much better horse or a quality horse because of the attention to detail to what can make the next move up, step up.
Most of the people like you have a background in horses. And how do you compete against big trainers?
Well, honestly, one of the things with me is I've never say that I'm competing against. I always say I'm competing with. You just try to get your stock, better stocks, better quality horses, find where they can run, be competitive against, the horses that you're running with. So, that's on me to try to bring my game to their level. So that's how
So how do you bring in fresh stock other than if you breed the horses yourself?
just promote, hopefully your horses talk, on the track for you. Their results will show what you can do. So
I'll give you an example. So a partnership, which I've been involved in a few, they're trying to appeal to get people in the game.
Right.
People new to the game always want the well-known trainer. They want the Todd Pletcher, the Chad Brown.
They want the names.
But in your case, you're a former jockey. You come from a background where you had relatives who were trainers, and you're probably just as able as the next person to train a horse.
Yeah, I believe so.
So how do you think, because people are saying this is going to be the detriment of racing,
The mega stable.
the mega stables. So how do you confront that as an individual small trainer?
Well, I've tried to voice my opinion to say even the finger lakes. We have mega trainers here that have, years before, trainers were only allotted so many stalls. They were only allowed up to 30 stalls, and that was it. They wouldn't get any more. So what happened would be that if they take on a new client, they would give the client to somebody like me, and so the horses get dispersed around the racetrack. So what happens is with the mega stables is they're really pushing out the small guy, and what happens is when the small guy leaves, there's more stalls available. So the mega barns want more stalls, and instead of leaving the stalls empty. But it's kind of it is a detriment to racing in the long term.
What keeps you guys doing this?
I don't know. The love of horses. I just love horses. We love horses. Especially this one. Oh yeah, he's awesome.
So it's not the pay?
No, not the pay. We do this for free.
So that's a trial and error of horse racing. If they do like the slop, if they do like the ring, they do like the turf, a fast track. Overall, I think it's not to say you have to baby a horse, but I do feel you have to train on them enough to put pressure on them to see if they can handle the pressure to be competitive at the level of racing that we are here in New York. To be.
Put a bandage on the front legs of the horse. And that's to do what?
It's always protection to say. Overall, I think some people have the preference of 4 bandages, some in reference to training or racing. Some people just believe in 2 back bandages or 2 front bandages. It's just a matter of opinion or their methods of training a racehorse. Everyone has their own ways. There's some trainers that have no bandages and train all type of horses with no bandages. So it really is just a trainer's preference. Protection, yes, but also some people feel don't baby them too much and see how they're moving. If they're not touching, if they are touching, by coincidence, whatever it may be. I think it's just the learning curve of each trainer.
So for the viewer, when you're talking about touching, you're talking about when they're running.
When they're running, yeah, they can hit like their front ankles or their back ankles, or it's just the motion of action that differs from each horse, and each surface could be a sloppy track or a fast track, turf. I think it's just a preference.
Do you generally use them, or do you vary it from horse to horse?
I do vary it. All my horses do run with back bandages, either on the turf or the dirt. But overall, it just varies on the horse. If they might have an issue or they don't have an issue, it's just protection. But overall, it's support. Just like any other athlete that wraps their things in tape, their arms or their ankles or whatnot, it's just a form of support, to say.
How big a deal is colic?
Oh, it's a big deal. You got to catch it right away and treat them for it, and hopefully it goes away.
What are a couple of the warning signs for that?
The horse he'll be breathing heavy, usually a little bit. He'll be flaring his nostrils. They'll be rolling. They'll get up. They'll roll. Look at their stomach. They'll get up, and then they'll go back down, roll again. That's classic signs of colic.
Luckily, knock on wood, we've been pretty okay with not having to deal with it. I mean, colic's always a scary issue. I make sure that my horses all have hay nets in front of their faces 24/7, so they always have the forage in their stomach to help the acid in their gut stay down as much as it can. Just make sure that you get a good feed program. They're all on an alternate supplement to help keep the the acid down in their stomach and whatnot. So luckily, we haven't had too many issues with our horses colicking.
What are some of the signs?
Signs: they can pause, lay down, roll, in distress, not eating, lethargic, depressed. When they start, getting down and rolling, that's when it becomes pretty severe. And, obviously any type of colic, you get a vet over right away to treat them and hope it resolves itself.
What are a couple of other things that pop up sometimes that you have to deal with?
Oh, there's so many things. You can have horses get any type of infection, colds, especially with the babies, the 2-year-olds. You get lots of runny noses, and we call it snots. Just gotta just watch them for that and try to keep everybody as healthy as you can.
I don't think a lot of people really realize that they're just like regular babies.
Yeah, they're just like babies. Yeah.
If I get it here, I will. You see?
Seems like he's got a little sensitive back there.
Yeah. This helps to relax the muscles and increase the circulation, the blood. Yeah. So helps to recover the muscles from the exercise. So you can move it. Yeah.
And meanwhile,
Like you see.
it's munching down.
Ya está haciendo brazo.
So how important is the farrier to you?
It's a whole team. Everything has to come into play. Everything has to come together. His opinion, our opinion, vet's opinion. Everything is a puzzle that has to all fit together. But we try different things and hope for the best. But overall, I think his experience with either glue wands, regular shoes, whatever it may be, it's a team effort. But without a farrier, everything starts from the bottom up. And at the end of the day, that's what you need, a team.
Yeah, the blacksmith is very important. You know, they always say no foot, no horse. So you got to make sure that you have somebody that's, you know, well educated. They keep educating themselves and know, you know, the horse and the feet and what's going to help them. And, you know, if there's a problem that arises or that I see, I go to the farrier. We talk about a plan to maybe, like, if a horse is hitting behind a little, how we can help fix that. Change around the shoeing a little bit to help them, you know, hit the ground a little differently. So definitely is part of this whole thing, and got to work with them. And yeah, their farriers are very important back here.
How often do they come around?
It's really dependent on the horse. 4 to 6 weeks usually is what you'd like to get them shot at. So yeah, but every horse can grow their hoof wall a little differently. So
do you have any words of encouragement for somebody who's just getting started in this?
Keep going. You know, this game can be a roller coaster ride, but just keep going. If you do it for the love of the horse and the horsemanship, everything else should fall right into place for you. You know, but just keep going. Always put the horse first.
Very good. So you were saying that they sink all the money in the front end where people enter the facility to make people look and feel wonderful, but it's not the same here on the backstretch.
Oh yeah, I just feel it's pretty outdated in reference to the living quarters for the help, the stalls, just the maintenance overall. Yeah, you can call the maintenance out here, but for the amount of money that Saratoga brings, I think it should be much better maintained or updated to the time frame that we're at now. It's this is what keeps the game going, is the people on the backside.
So what are a couple of the top 2 or 3 horses that you've trained?
Well, we almost won a race this year. Saratoga, we were a very good second. And her name was Long-Legged Queen, and I had another filly that I trained. She finished third at Belmont, or Aqueduct at Belmont. And her name was Sandy's Garden. So they're both really nice horses.
So what are all the things that are involved with being a trainer? Who else has to come in and support you in what you're doing with the horses?
My wife does the accounting. She does payroll. That's a big help. That takes that out of the equation for me because I have so much to think about. I go over the racing form every day, looking for horses. I'm on the phone with my clients constantly. And the people behind me, behind the scenes, like Danielle, she helps me out a lot. She does everything. She'll tack horses, she'll do the hot walking, and then she'll groom the horses after we're finished. My daughter, she's injured now, but she was a big help. Galloping the horses. She was my assistant trainer for a couple years ago, but it's a whole big thing that's got to come together to run a barn. It's not easy to run a barn and have everything go smooth. It doesn't, but we do the best we can. So.
And your wife Polly comes from racing industry too.
She does. She was a jockey. She also come up under Clyde Rice, and she worked for Todd Pletcher. She worked for Bill Mott. So she has a lot of racing background behind her also.
Well, that's got to be helpful.
Oh, it's big time helpful. Because if I'm stumped on something, she'll at least have an opinion, and it helps me a lot in the long run. Because then when I got to make a decision about something, because we're always making decisions out here. It is training is not just cut and dry. There's always problems, and there's always and you got to find solutions to those problems. So she is a big help for me, my wife. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, John.
You're very welcome. You're very
Good luck
welcome.
with everything.
Thank you so much.
What are 2 or 3 of the top horses that you've trained?
2 or 3 of the top horses. Fleet Irish was one of my all-time favorites. Claimed him in New York, and he was the first one to be stakes placed with me. Great horse, nice horse. Wound up losing him in a claiming race, but bought him back at the end of his career and had to rehab him from an injury. And I placed him with a friend of mine, and now he's a riding horse and loving life. So he's one of my, ones that I always think about the most. Had a horse named Animus I claimed as well for $7,500, and he took us to Churchill Downs, ran a couple really good races and some starter races there before he was claimed away from us. And that was kind of a nice horse to claim and just watch him flourish with us. And so those are 2 that always kind of stick out to me.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you.
These dedicated trainers you've witnessed are truly passionate about their craft. Some haven't even taken vacations or honeymoons, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to the horses in their care. Consider the relentless weather that sweeps across our country all year long. These trainers and backstretch workers are on duty 24/7, ensuring the well-being of these horses, regardless of the conditions. Beyond the love for the horses, these individuals also have families. Balancing family life with the demands of being a trainer is a constant challenge. We, as horse racing enthusiasts, owe them a debt of gratitude. We hope this documentary, Training for Life, has provided a deeper understanding of the dedication required for a horse racing trainer, and particularly those who manage smaller barns. We thank you for watching.